Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. We have been discussing many aspects of pragmatic leadership. So, in the last sharing session, I have given you certain anecdotes of my own life, how I was using myself as a resource. So, I just finished up when I completed my diploma in engineering courses and then took up a job in a small fabrication company for about 100 rupees stipend. So it went on for a period of 6 months. So, as a 19-year-old young man in the year 1969, I just took up this job because that's all life has offered for me. And then, as I mentioned to you, in life, whatever that you want to have, that is generally it is called I need it, I want it. There are two ways we can look at things in our life. So I need it is different from I want it. When I say I need it, meaning suppose when you are hungry, you need food. So when you are tired, you need sleep. So the need is different from I want, right? So it's very important to understand that the need is something which is the very essential aspect of human life. But when I say I want Mercedes, I want iPad, I want this, I want that. So when the want is something is a little more luxurious as compared to I need it, the needs are different from I want. So human beings can look for the basic needs initially, and then the needs are fulfilled, then we start looking into I want this, I want that, etc. So in my own life looking back, I think need was more important than I wanted. There was no necessity or there was no kind of a situation where I can fix that I want this or I want that. So it's very important for human being to understand that the want and needs are different. So when you are trying to classify things that the basic needs as Maslow's hierarchical needs, what is talked about, essentially the food is a need, and then the shelter is a need, and then some clothes to cover the body is a need, and so on and so forth. So out of the 7.8 billion people in this planet, you will find more than 50 to 60% of them, even more than that, are not even having what is the basic need of human being. Maybe 3 times a meal, or some decent clothes to cover their body, or to have a roof above their head, and so on and so forth. So when that is going to be the situation, that even in the developed countries you will find that a lot of people are not having the basic need. Unfortunately, in the creation, if you look at the nature, maybe plants or animals, we don't find that they are having anything more than their need. There's no question of want in an animal kingdom or a plant kingdom. And because they are all having a lesser level of consciousness, they don't get into the domain of I want this, I want that, etc. So the need for a plant is the sunlight and the water, for example. As long as this is available, a plant just blossoms and then brings a beauty to everything that around it. But in the case of human beings, we have been created in such a way that we always go far beyond our needs. So when the needs are fulfilled, then the mind starts thinking that I want this and I want that, and so on. So to make the story short, then when I finished my engineering education from a polytechnic, I had to take what was coming on my way. Then I took up the job in a structural fabrication company. and I was very keen to learn whatever that opportunity that was unfolding. And it was quite a tough job in the family, and the situations were not that good for all of us to have 3 times a meal a day, and then we went on like that. But I was not stopping my dream. I was constantly thinking of what else I could do with my life. So, as I mentioned to you, the dream always keeps you going, that you want to explore this world and explore your potential constantly, that there is something that was bestowed on you, and you are inward looking, and then you are always interested to bring about your talents that was given to you. Obviously you unfold life in a better way. So as I mentioned to you, I was working in this firm in the day shift and night shifts at that young age. I used to travel maybe about 25 to 30 kilometers in the local train, which is very sleepy, and untimely shifts between 5 o'clock to night to 2 o'clock, and then I have to sleep in the shop floor with lots of mosquitoes. I used to keep the ledger books as my pillow, eat and sleep in an environment in a structural fabrication company. So whenever I was thinking that there is something beyond the boundary which is visible for me, as I mentioned to you, during my school days, I didn't know where that road was going, and then I explored that little bit, and then I found the world is much bigger. I used to stand near the railway track and then stare at the train, that express train that it used to go to Chennai. So I never visited Chennai, so I used to dream that one day I should go to that place and then make a career in a much bigger city than where I was living. So every day during the day shift, when the train used to cross the railway track, I always used to stare at the train and then think one day that I need to go and work there in the Chennai city. So that's the way the life went on, and then later on I was constantly exploring the possible opportunity to move from Trichy to Chennai to take up a better job and then pursue my career. So because I finished up with my diploma in mechanical engineering, I had a limited employment opportunities, as any youngsters in the southern part of India would experience. So later on, one fine morning, I was constantly looking for some kind of advertisement in the situation vacant section of the Hindu newspaper. Then I saw there was a vacancy for a trainee draftsman in the Simpson Group, the tractors and farm equipment, which on those days was called TAFE, as the one of the opportunity. Then I just made an application and then sent it to the company for consideration. And to my surprise, suddenly the interview came, and first time I sat in the train and then took my journey to Chennai to attend this interview. So it went on that way, and then quite surprisingly, one of my classmates who was also living in Chennai has attended this interview. I met him on the day before the interview. He said that I also attended this interview. So in the meantime, my principal, which is Mr. G. Sundaram on those days, was a very kind man, and he always used to take a lot of pain to give an opportunity for his students to get a good job. So he was trying to get me a good job in Bharat Heavy Electricals in Tiruchirappalli. On those days it was Trichy. So he was very keen to fix me there. So finally the TAFE selected me as a trainee draftsman for 200 rupees stipend for a period of 2 years with a 15 rupees increment. So, and they were not selecting me alone, they selected my classmate two of us, but they had only one vacancy. So they wrote a letter to my principal asking him, among the two people, who will you recommend? So my principal called me to discuss that whether I would like to take the job in BHEL or I would like to take this job in TAFE. I told him that I would like to explore a bigger city and then opportunities there rather than exploring in the same place. So then the principal agreed and wrote a letter to them saying that NC would like to take up this job. And that is how I joined Simpson Group in the Tractors and Farm Equipment Company as a trainee draftsman with a 19-year-old boy, and moved on to Chennai, moving from a small town in the school, as I explained to you in the previous session, that I didn't know where that road is going. Then the life expanded to Trichy, where the bigger kind of a town. Later on, I moved to Chennai with the bigger city, the state capital, and then pursued my career as a trainee draftsman. So it was a pride on those days working in an automobile engineering company, particularly in the design and development. So I had thoroughly trained in the automobile engineering, stripping open the entire tractor and assembling them and so on and so forth. So that was the starting point of my career in the younger age of 19 to 20. So going forward, let us discuss these things in much more detail in the context of pragmatic leadership. So the most important part of the learning from this phase of my life is that we don't stop anywhere, become unstoppable is a lesson I learned. The other part is that want and needs are different, that first of all you need to see that the basic needs are fulfilled in life before you get into the context of I want this, I want that. So most of the people grown in developing countries like India, their needs are not even fulfilled. There is no question of want. So it's very important to understand that you need to keep moving in life to fulfill your basic needs, and then also explore the opportunities in a much bigger expanded version of your life. So you need to keep on discover yourself, what potentials you have, and also have a positive bent of mind rather than being very pessimistic. So when you explore life, it keeps on unfolding for your favor. So that is what I wanted to convey in this small piece of anecdote. So you need to be very practical. That is the very meaning of the word pragmatic. So look forward to share more and more of my experience going forward. God bless you. Thank you very much for your patient listening, and let us have more and more details of concepts and anecdotes in the coming sessions. Take care.